Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to attend Gryphon's webcast series. My name is Mark Booty, insurance industry leader here at Gryphon, and throughout this series, we'll explore the visionary challenges and opportunities for intelligent contact compliance, detailing why it should be a part of your outreach strategy, gauging your organization's maturity, and how to understand the risks of contact strategy, as well as extending the reach of your organization, as well as a myriad of other topics. So I invite you to sit back, enjoy these informational sessions, and please feel free to share and bookmark these videos with others. If you're already a client, thank you again for your partnership and patronage, and please feel free to reach out to your customer success manager or account executive if you have any questions or concerns. As a level set, Gryphon is a leader in the intelligent contact compliance space. I think most of you are wondering, well, what is that and how can I benefit from this type of service? Well, Gryphon helps organizations of all sizes and varieties navigate the complexities of regulations as it dictates to maintaining compliance for outreach to B2B as well as B2C types of situations. And many of those are the TCPA, Do Not Contact, Fair Debt, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, in the realms of sales, marketing, servicing, as well as consumer collections across both the US and Canada. And really, our organization stresses the fundamentals of intelligent contact compliance before, during, and after every single interaction. And that is for marketing use cases, sales, consumer debt collections, as well as servicing. And there's a good reason for this. And let me lay a little bit of the groundwork as to what organizations often miss when it comes to understanding how this can be beneficial to their outreach and why other groups like marketing and sales would benefit greatly from intelligent contact compliance. First and foremost, if you use the graphics on the screen as a representative base for your contactable base, well, first and foremost, you'll see over 1 year time that over the progression of the year, through outreach and a number of other capabilities, often the base gets fatigued. And that leads to a number of increasing internal do not contact requests, whether numbers have been disconnected or reassigned and they lose the consent to send, say, SMS messages to those individuals. And what we're seeing here out of the entire US population of 330 million, approximately 0.1% of them, or 330,000, are on what are known litigators and professional plaintiff lists. And these are people who are habitual offenders trying to entrap organizations in simple missteps and then launching class action suits in order to benefit financially from them. And then finally here, what you're going to see is often there are no legal auditable exemptions applied to the outreach. And if you think of your organization's total contact strategy, it's going to involve a number of different channels, so many different technologies, and often those are decoupled from one another, and there is no cohesion in and amongst a standardized way to not only document and detail how things like legal exemptions have been applied to that outreach across multiple channels, or where consent has been lost or used in the appropriate way to communicate with an individual. So what does that look like? Really, about 50% of your base is lost or presents, elevated risk to your contact strategy in your business. Well, as I mentioned, 12% is typical of what we see in the industry around attrition for internal do not contact requests. That's often around fatiguing the base with too much contact, with all the power that is presented with the different technologies that you've invested in. 24% of those are lost to things like disconnected or reassigned statuses, which is important because when you have an SMS strategy, which is often a much higher adoption than other channels, consent does not follow when a number has been disconnected or reassigned. So what we see in the industry today is that often organizations are going through class actions for incorrect numbers, and they're contacting these individuals on a regular basis with things like how to service them, new opportunities and products that are now coming to bear. And unfortunately, those are going to the wrong individuals. As I mentioned, unknowingly contact known professional litigators and plaintiffs. This should be something that's identified in your consumer base to know what do we need to do to prevent organizations of our status and size from becoming victim of the types of strategies that they employ. And then really documenting that no auditable legal exemption for about 50% of your outreach. So what are your options? Well, there are a couple things that you can easily implement, and some of those are things like recovering internal do not contact requests. Many organizations lose those for the time from when they actually are registered for the for foreseeable future because they don't know how to legally apply the law, or sorry, I should say they don't know how to apply the law in order to recover some of those expired internal do not contact and then reclaim some of their marketable base. Capitalize things on like implementing the reassign numbers database service to know where consent was lost and do that on a monthly and recurring basis. First and foremost, when it comes to known plaintiffs and litigators, you should automatically block all non-essential contact by understanding what channels are they receiving communications to and are those essential for the delivery of your products and services. And then finally, using services that can help you centrally manage legal exemptions for all of your different omni-channel outreach. So you need a partner who can help you go from this perception of risk and obviously the legal vulnerabilities that come along with it to something more akin to this. So really lessening the risk factor and increasing your reach at the same time and presenting new opportunities for your marketing and sales organizations to actively engage these people in the right way and from a compliant posture. And there are a number of ways to do that. Partners like Gryphon can really help you navigate these complexities in a real-time fashion. So move away from the old adage of a manual intervention to scrub lists and then put those into a queue. And often a lot of the time-sensitive nature of some of those things like calling hours, prohibitions, curfews, things like disclosures at the right time in your contact center strategy is going to be important to maintaining a proper posture. And then tracking and having audit-ready dashboards to really showcase that you've maintained the appropriate safe harbor and also that you have all of that well documented so that if ever an auditor requests it, you can present it in short order and it's not an onerous task for your business and other technical leadership to produce those records. What we talked about before was a little bit of that before, during, and after posture. Well, that before, as I mentioned, a lot of that used to be a lot of uploads of data lists, scrubbing it, and then putting it into the queue. Well, if you can do that in real time, not only do you eliminate some of the manual intervention that's required, but really you improve the accuracy of the outcomes that you're looking for. The during piece, especially when we're talking about call centers that are performing outbound outreach, well, there are things like mini Mirandas, disclosures, and opt-out language that once heard, or when they're introducing themselves in a call, they need to follow a very prescriptive sort of sequence of disclosures. Often that is not done because of minimal training. And so much of the technology that is implemented in the call center is really around how do I get them more productive earlier, but not really understanding how do I stay on the right side of the law. Well, we can augment those technologies with this type of things with whether it's pre-call whispers or even just things that pop up on the screen to help them stay on track. And then the post-call, which is the after effect. This is that whole audit posture, the understanding the data and applying that at scale to understand where were the risks, did we do things improperly, and where do we need to remedy these in the future. And this is some of the dashboarding and documentation that we can provide to really help answer those questions in short order and give not only leadership, but the business the insights and accuracy that they're looking for to make critical business decisions to affect better outcomes. So thank you for taking the time out. Again, my name is Mark Booty. I am the industry leader here for insurance at Gryphon AI, and I welcome you to sit back and enjoy some of the other content that's going to follow in short order. Thank you again for your time.